We're going to start off first with from Portland, Oregon, fresh off a workout, going to join us to talk about his decision to become a Wolverine. First up today is Mr. Darrius Clemons. So
What's going on, y'all?
Darrius, how you doing, man? Thanks for joining us.
I'm doing great. How are you guys doing?
We are doing outstanding. Appreciate you taking the time. So first of all, congratulations on becoming a Wolverine.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Go Blue.
So let's just start off first when Michigan re-entered the equation. I mean, there was a time where Michigan at the beginning of your recruitment was very prominent. Then it seemed like they fell out, and then they got back in. When did they get back in, and when did you start considering them seriously again?
In all honesty, I was silently committed to Oregon until Coach Cristobal left. And when he left, I knew I had to open things back up. And Michigan was one of the first schools that reached out to me after that happened.
Wow. So the silent commit. When did you decide to visit? Because that was the thing. I don't know if people really believed you were going to visit until you got on the plane.
I don't think Coach Gaddis thought I was going to visit until I got on the plane. But, I mean, I think Coach Cristobal taking the job on a Monday. Coach Gaddis called me either Tuesday morning or Tuesday night, and he was like, "You have one more visit left, right?" And I was like, "I do." He's like, "Come on here." I was like, "I'll think about it." I ended up telling him yes, but I hadn't even told my parents I planned on visiting at the time either. Like, I just kind of told them yes to just like have it there as like a backup plan. I ended up going, and I loved it, and led me to become Wolverine.
Wow. So guys, I mean, it's funny how this works. We talk about how the coaching carousel, how it for some of these schools, it helped them get on some prospects. Michigan wasn't in the coaching carousel there, Steve. And this was one where they were able to benefit by being a bystander. And, so Oregon, their coach moves on, and suddenly a player that they were out for, they jump back in with because there was a coaching change elsewhere.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so Darrius, my thing was, I think you released a top 5 pretty like a while ago, maybe before football season.
It was a top 3.
Top 3?
Yes, sir.
Michigan was pretty high on your list early on. You eliminated them in that list. Was that coming off of the 2-4 season last year? Maybe a lot of questions about their coach, the stability of the staff, and just their general situation. Is that why you kind of maybe put them on a little bit of the back burner there at that point? Maybe wanted to see more of them on the field, or?
I think it was a culmination of things. I mean, the prominent most being just like the overwhelmingness of the recruiting process as a whole. I was trying to cut it down to like a few schools because I was just getting tired of talking to a lot of schools. And I knew my season was coming up. I wanted to be able to just focus on my team. That was my main focus. But obviously, like Michigan going 2-4, that didn't help. But I had just taken visits to Penn State and Auburn, and I live in Oregon, so those are just like the 3 best schools for me at the time. And I'm forever grateful for Coach Gaddis, Coach Harbaugh being open to me and letting me take a visit. Because if I would have never taken that visit, I probably wouldn't be sitting here right now today.
Right. So it really felt like as you were going through the day, following you, it felt like it was, making the decision at the end wasn't easy. So what were you sort of tossing and turning about? What were the things that you were considering down the stretch that ultimately made it tough to make that decision?
Well, the 2 schools that came down to were Michigan and Oregon. And honestly, I committed at noon today, and I didn't know where I was going until about 11:55. But the last conversation I had with my family, it was my mom, my stepmom, my dad. They just told me, like, to me, Oregon felt like home every time I was there. And I wanted to go there because I thought it was just like the safe bet. And they all told me, Darrius, to be successful in life, you can't always be comfortable. And doing things that are hard and uncomfortable in life sometimes lead to the greatest successes. That's something that really hit home with me. And that's after they said that's when I knew, like, Michigan was the place for me.
Wow. And so the fit had to be a thing. You had to get back. You had to see the offense. You had to, talk to Gaddis about how you would fit. I imagine maybe you talked to JJ McCarthy. You talked to the quarterbacks. So how do you fit in this offense? How did they say they see you? I mean, was there a player they compared you to, if any?
They didn't really give me a comparison, really. But obviously, I'm the biggest receiver now they have on the roster. Probably the fast. I want to think. I'll say I'm the fastest. We can set up a race all those guys. But I mean, they got 3 really good receivers. They're all juniors right now, all coming back, including Ronnie Bell. He's been hurt, but they'll be returning 4 seniors. But the Coach Gaddis, what he sold me on, he says I provide something to the receiver room that they don't have right now, and that's like a physical, deep, like 50-50 like threat. Physical receiver. And I think that's gonna proving I work hard and compete in fall camp and spring ball, that'll lead to me getting some early playing time and contributing to the team's success.
So measurables, what, 6'3", 6'3",
Uh,
Darius?
this past Sunday at Michigan, I was 6'3" and 3/4, 209.
209. And so now take me through this 40 time. 4.37. Is that, where did you run that? Is that
It was at a combine here. It wasn't. It was a laser. It was a laser.
It was a laser. So man, that's DK Metcalf stuff. 6'3", 210, 4.37. I mean, that's who it sounds like to me.
Yes, sir.
So is that a guy that you look up to or try to emulate at all?
Yeah, definitely. But obviously, he's doing his thing in the league, and people like to give him crap for being stiff or whatever. But I mean, you aren't stiff and get first team All Pro for no reason,
So andrel, he obviously got loose in the Michigan State game. I talked to your dad shortly after that. He said you guys were watching. Did that game? Did him performing well in that game? Did that pique your curiosity about Michigan a little more, seeing what he did that day?
Ironically, when we were watching that game, we were driving down to Eugene. That was the day I silently committed to Oregon. So I have to say no. But obviously, that's one of my best friends. So I was supporting him, and I was happy for him doing all that good stuff,
Right. All right. So, but when you committed, I imagine did you call him before you went public, or did he find out with everyone else?
He had called me like 8:30 my time this morning, so about 3.5 hours before I committed. And obviously, that's one of my best friends. So it wasn't even about him wanting me to come to Michigan. He was just like, "Hey, bro, where's your head at?" And we just chopped it up a little bit. And I just got all my thoughts out to him. And he's just like, "I wish you the best. Like, you look like your head's in a good space. Like, if you need anything from me, like, let me know." And that was all he really had said to me, like, regarding Michigan through this whole process. And then I committed. Ironically, I hadn't even told the coaches before I got to commit because it was just a time crunch. I didn't get to tell Coach Harbaugh or anything. And Andrel was the very first person after I took the earbuds out and we're done with all that. My phone was ringing on the call from Andrel. He FaceTimed me. He was so happy.
All right. So Darrius, the recruitment is out of the way. How do things look for you moving forward? What's next for you?
I got about 3 more weeks here in Oregon. Gonna keep working out with my trainer, Aaron Woods. Just try to get better and be the best I can when I get to Ann Arbor.
All right. So you're early enrollee coming in here for the winter term?
Yes, sir. That's the plan.
All right. And so an opportunity to come in and compete early. And like you said, give Michigan a piece at receiver that they just don't have. A tremendous physical specimen. And here's what I like to say. I was talking to your guy, Brandon Huffman. He said, now, stay with me, Sam. He looks up to DK Metcalf, but I think Darrius is a more polished receiver. He's a better ball catcher than DK Metcalf, which is lofty praise. Where he said, "Hey, you actually do a little something better than your idol." But obviously, you got to come and do it at Michigan first. Congratulations on that. My last question, and I'll see if the other guys have any more. But it really felt like your connection with Josh Gaddis was a big factor in this. That was one of the things that your dad really seemed to say, that you guys got a better feel for him on the visit than you had in the 10 or 12 months prior to that. Would you say that's accurate?
Yeah, definitely. Well, Coach Gaddis is a great, just human being overall. I mean, but I had never met Coach Gaddis in person until this past weekend. Actually, I had once, but I wasn't being heavily recruited at the time. And he's a lot different than meets the eye. He's really goofy. He's funny. But at the end of the day, he's a caring football coach. He cares about his players more than football. And I think my parents trusted Coach Gaddis to just take care of me and mold me into a young man they want me to be. You know what I mean? Like, Coach Gaddis, the type of person I look up to, type of person I'd want to be when I grow up. So I think that's only right that I go play football for him,
Guys, you have anything else for Darrius?
I just wondered how much 12-1 maybe played a role. Seeing Michigan beat Ohio State, seeing them win the Big Ten title, knowing, you've been recruited by everybody, knowing that, there was some criticism. Michigan couldn't quite get over that hump, beat Ohio State, win the Big Ten title. How much did seeing them do that maybe give you belief that, okay, I know this program's capable of doing this. Maybe I can help them take the next step?
I mean, it definitely helped. It was kind of a perfect storm the way things worked out with Coach Cristobal leaving and Coach Gaddis getting back in touch with me. Then me just like, obviously, I watched college football, so I knew Michigan was doing good. And just the way things had transpired, it was a perfect storm for me, Obviously, them being 12-1 was a little bit enticed. I like playing football is a lot more fun when you're winning games. But it wasn't that big of a factor, to be honest. I think the biggest thing for me was the academics and just the camaraderie amongst that coaching staff and Coach Harbaugh and Coach Gaddis, and my parents just trusting them to mold me into a young man they want me to be.
All right. Well, Darrius, appreciate your time and congratulations on becoming a Wolverine. We'll see you in a few weeks.
Thank you. I appreciate it, guys. Have a good night.